Hey everyone, welcome back to Unicorn Dust Designs. Today we are going to go in the garage and play around with some 2x4s. I have a bunch of scrap wood from when we made my booth, or I should say my husband made my booth, and I wanted to see how many different ways we can make pumpkins using the 2x4 scraps. So I hope this is something you're into. Let's hop right into this video. Like I said, we're going to start off with 2x4s. All of them are going to be 2x4s. So these three are all the same size. And then John cut the angles on the two outer sides at 37 degrees. He is so random. But I'm not going to put any sizes down in the description box because this is really going to be to preference, how big you want them, where they're going to be put, and so forth. So I am taking Queen Bee, which y'all know is one of my favorite colors of the DIY paints. I just love the 70s vibes it gives out. And today we're going to do kind of a different color combo that I don't think you would expect. So I'm going to paint the front, the back, the sides, the tops. Then I'm going to take these scrap, I think they're trim pieces from our island. And I didn't even have to cut these babies down. They were already cut to size. So I'm going to paint those as well. Then I'm going to stand up. No, am I not doing that? No, I'm not. I'm going to take my little nifty snowman. These I get at Hobby Lobby. Think they come in a 6-pack, and when you find them on a discount, stock up on them because they make great stems, feet for things. They're awesome. I'm going to put Dark and Decrepit on here. You could use this for a stain, a glaze, whatever you want. And then I'm going to wipe the excess off because I want it to act like a stain in this case. We're going to go ahead and set that aside. Now I'm going to stand up my 2x4s and I'm going to put some Tite Bond on my trimming piece and some hot glue. I'm standing it up at first just so that I can make sure that all of my 2x4s are straight. I'm going to put that towards the bottom and then I'm going to lay it down and put another piece on top. Now you can nail these in, which usually I would do, but to be honest, I dropped this sucker and it did not go anywhere. So I didn't feel the need to put nails in there. So I'm going to put them on that on the top. This is going to hold all of our 2x4s together. Now we are going to get some more Queen Bee. We are going to use this beautiful paint inlay. I'm going to paint the upper half to start off. You need to do this in sections because we need our paint to be wet. And then I'm going to lay the paint inlay on. Now, I was watching a gal do this, and she spritzed her paint inlay with water before putting it down on the paint. So that's what I did here, and I really thought that it just helped a little bit with like the flexibility of the paint inlay. And then I do the same thing for the bottom half. Now, if you are a beginner and you're like, sorry about the dog, want to do a paint inlay, but they're so expensive, I'm not going to play around with them just to trash them. This is the paint inlay you want to start out with. Out of all of them, this one and the blue floral print is my favorite because you can't mess up with it. You truly cannot. You lay it on the wet paint, especially if it's a bigger sheet going over a full surface. It is a great beginner-friendly paint inlay to try out. Now we're going to let that dry, and you'll know it's dry because your paper turns white. Then we're going to spritz it with some more water. I'm going to take a paper towel and I'm going to push that water into my paint inlay. This is going to kind of reactivate the paper, the paint, and make for pulling back the paper a lot easier. So you can see right here, I start pulling it back and look at this unexpected color combo. This looks so good. It made my heart so happy pulling this back. Now, you have to make sure that you wait a few hours before you put a clear coat over this, or you will smear that paint because those flowers are actual paint. Now that that's completely dried, I'll go ahead and attach our little peduncle, put some Tite Bond on there and some hot glue. And now I'm going to clear it with Big Top. You could also use clear wax, liquid patina, doesn't matter. Y'all, I already have the holiday things I was able to get my hands on my website, and pre-sale for the rest of the IOD products that I'll be carrying are going to start on October 3rd, next Tuesday. So please look out for that. I am so excited to finally be carrying the IOD items because I think y'all know how passionate I have become about them. So I hope you guys are just as excited as I am. So October 3rd, next Tuesday. So I'm just making a very basic raffia bow. I'm going to attach a scrap piece of a leaf and then put that raffia bow right in front. And I had to add one extra little detail, which was this adorable flower. Now I'm watching, what am I watching? Crime shows? Murder mystery. There we go. And look at how gorgeous this pumpkin turned out. This pumpkin makes my heart so happy. I don't even know if I could sell it, but definitely check the website if you are interested to see if I posted it. I am actually going to do this color combo with the flowers for my booth sign. This is Gorga. You guys, drop a flower down in the comments if you like this one. Now, this one is super easy. You guys, this is salt wash that I mixed with the color Sea Glass for my spring porch project, and it is still good. I think salt wash packaging says like a month or something like that. This is months, and this stuff is still good. So salt wash, you guys, for those of you that don't know what it is or are new, salt wash is a paint additive. It's going to create like peaks and ridges in your paint. It's going to give it a weathered look. And when it dries, it's going to have like a concrete feeling to it. It is so amazing to use with your DIY projects. So I am just stippling this paint on all of the sides and the top of my tiny 2x4s, and then I'm going to let those dry. All three of these are the same size. Once this is completely dry, then I'm just kidding, I just wanted to show you more painting in case you did not know. I'm stippling it on. Now, once this is completely dry and it looks so gorgeous dried down, I'm going to take that Titebond once again and then some hot glue, and we're going to just push those little babies together, and we're going to let that set up for a minute. I'm going to take my drill gun and we are going to drill a hole right in the center. Now, if you don't have a drill gun, you just apply some hot glue or super glue to that stem and you put it on. I think I'm going to just use hot glue to stick this in the center, and you could go crazy with the stems. I mean, there are so many options for them. So we just are using hot glue for this one. It fits nice and snug in there, so it ain't going nowhere. Our next step is going to be to take some twine. I'm going to tack it off in the back, and then I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. Now, make sure when you're wrapping this around that you do not overlap it on the bottom. If you overlap it, it's going to make your pumpkin wobbly. It's not going to sit flush with the table. So make sure it is nice and flat on the bottom, and then I tack it back off on the back side where I started. I'm going to repeat this step on the other side of our pumpkin. This is going to create like the ribs. I'm going to do a raffia bow once again, and then add this super cute orange flower to the center. Y'all, these are going to be great projects to do with your kids or friends. They're going to be really good resale items in booths or craft fairs because they are so easy to make. And I hope you guys get inspired because this one was so easy, but look at how stinking adorable. All right, this one we're going to do a trio here. And my husband cut these at 37 degrees, and we're going to play with this grunge flower decoupage paper. I really loved the print of this, and it inspired me to keep going with the pumpkin. So I'm taking layered chocolate, which is like a deep brown color, and I'm going to do the backs and all the sides. I am not going to paint the front of it with the layered chocolate. We are going to save that for crinoline. And the reason why we are going to paint the top in crinoline is because when we lay our decoupage paper on top of it, we want it to stand out. If I were to paint this all with layered chocolate, it's going to darken up my paper, and I don't want that to happen. I want my paper to pop. So that is why I'm doing this. Of course, you can do what you want to do. You don't even have to paint this crinoline, but I want my paper to pop and not blend in with my paint, especially because the flowers on here are brown. So I'm going to kind of cut these down to size, trying to figure out where I want the print to be on these pumpkins. Super easy peasy. Save all of your scraps, you guys, because you will use them later in other projects. I promise you. I'm going to grab my trusty liquid patina. I do have these, you guys, in 16-ounce sizes now for those of you that like love it. I do have the bigger containers, which I'm using right here. I apply it to my pumpkin itself. The remainder that I have on my brush, I use to push that decoupage paper down. Make sure you're spritzing that paper, because I tell you what, that has been life-changing. And I know I say it in every video, but it really has been. I'm going to go in downward motions to get all of the excess paper off. This is what you would do too if you were using a napkin or paper. And I'm going to take that liquid patina once again, and I'm going to clear the top of our decoupage paper and clear the rest of our pumpkins. We want to do this to seal our paint, to make sure that our paper doesn't lift off or fray, and liquid patina can be used as a clear coat. After that, I took it outside and I kind of sanded it down so it looked a little bit more grungy around the edges. And then I took the liquid patina, dark and decrepit, and just rubbed my finger on the edges to kind of create like a shadowing effect. After that's done, you know, we have to accessorize. So I am just finding the perfect stem for these. I drilled the holes in there, put it in with hot glue. I don't think you guys need to see that again. And now I'm going to take the wired berry. This is from Dollar Tree. I think the white one, I don't know if it comes out during Christmas. I know for sure during Valentine's Day. And all I do is twist it around like, you know, a pencil, a pen, and then the bottom of the stem, I wrap around the peduncle of the pumpkin and just attach or adhere with my hot glue. Now, I wanted to use Spanish moss, but as I've said, I cannot find Spanish moss anywhere at my Dollar Trees. So I'm using the floral moss, which actually worked out because it does give you a more grungier kind of feel, I guess you can say, just because of the color and everything. And you know what, to be honest, not having the Spanish moss made me think outside the box a little bit more of how to accessorize these pumpkins, because I think my first thought is always Spanish moss to like go around the stem. So it made me branch out. And here's how this trio turned out. So these are our grungy floral pumpkins. And these would actually look super cute with some of those new IOD fairy transfers. They're very kind of like whimsical, I guess you can say. Maybe. Is that not the right word? I don't know. I hope you guys like them. They're a little different, but I was totally vibing this decoupage paper. Hey everyone, checking back in to see if you are enjoying the 2x4 pumpkins. Y'all know that I absolutely love doing wood DIYs. I don't do them enough because my garage is always a mess, okay? Let's be real here. But I had all these scraps. I knew I wanted to make pumpkins with them. So I hope it's inspiring you to either go to the hardware store, get some wood cut, or find some scraps on Facebook Marketplace, because these are so easy to do and recreate yourself. Y'all, I wanted to take a minute and say thank you to all of the fabulous ladies that attended for the Love of Junk Weekend. You guys, I'm gonna put in some clips right here. This couldn't have turned out it couldn't have turned out any better than it was. Like, we got the most perfect group of ladies for our first time. We had so much fun thrifting. Our bus driver was even a DIYer. We went to dinner. I mean, you guys, this weekend was epic. It will be etched in my memory forever. And we cannot wait to do it next year. We are even thinking about making next year a 2-day event where we thrift all day one day and then DIY the next day. So make sure to look out for that because next year there's going to be a very limited space. But you guys, thank you so much for those of you who attended and made this past weekend, what it was. Like, I'll never forget you guys. I'll never forget the relationships we created, the fun we had. So thank you so much, you guys. Let's go ahead and get back into the video. Remember, all my links are down below in the description box. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, I'll stop talking. Bye. So we are going to jump into the Roy Cycled. This is the catalog. This is for those of you that are like, I want to try decoupage paper, but those big sheets are intimidating. This has so many little pieces in different sizes that this is the one you want to play around with and start out with for sure. I chose to do the farmhouse prints. And y'all, it has been a minute since I have done any kind of farmhouse DIYs. But these turned out ridiculously cute. So I'm going to take another set. These are a lot smaller, and I'm going to do a messy farmhouse coat of white swan all over our pumpkins. And then I'm going to take these resin frames. These are IOG frames, and I'm going to paint the outside of the frame black. Remember, we want to leave the inside white so that our decoupage paper pops on that white. So just be careful. And I only had to do one coat on both of these frames. Once I'm done and that dries, we're going to get that decoupage paper. I'm going to lay it on the inside of my frame, and I'm just going to get my tiny, tiny little nail, and I'm going to press down around that frame. This is going to let me know where I need to cut my decoupage paper. And I would always start out a little bit bigger than what you think because you can always keep cutting down, you know what I'm saying? But you can't go back if you cut too much off. So I find my sizing. Now I'm going to take my liquid patina, hold down the bottom half, and then apply it to the top, and then do the excess on the top of it. Now, this is a little bit of a raised surface, so sometimes when I'm doing the frames, I get like one little wrinkle, not a big deal. And I'm going to now clear the entire frame with the liquid patina because I want to seal that paint. And then I know you guys probably think I'm going gold right now, but you will be very shocked to find out I don't, okay? I'm just showing you the other paper that I'm using. I love the little tiny grain sack stripes. Oh my gosh, so cute. And look, I'm using white wax. Are you proud of me? So just like I apply the gold wax with my finger, that is what I'm going to do with the white wax. I wanted that black paint to stay black and dark. So that's why I did not brush my white wax on and then wipe it back. I just wanted it sitting on top of those details. I'm going to do the same thing with that second frame. Now I'm going to take our pumpkins and we are going to put that Tite Bond, and you guys, Tite Bond Quick and Thick adheres to any surface. And I'm going to attach those frames to the middle of our pumpkins. Look at me. They're so stinking cute. Oh my gosh. All right, we're going to attach those to the middle of the pumpkin, and y'all know we got to accessorize these babies. So I'm going to take some Dollar Tree fabric. I am just cutting little slits at the top and pulling them because I want them nice and frayed. And I'm going to do the same thing with the striped fabric as well. Now, the more fabric you use, the bigger your bows are going to be, so keep that in mind. I'm also going to grab some twine as well, and I'm going to cut some of those off. I'm going to slow this down a little bit. So I'm going to take all of the pieces I want to use. I wrap it around, I think like 3 fingers or something because these aren't very long. And then in the middle, I'm going to pinch that together and then take a piece of scrap fabric and then double knot it in the middle. You don't even have to cut the ends off on this because it just goes with the messiness of the fabric bow. So a double knot and you're done. I'm going to then, look at how cute, just fluff that little baby on out. And then we are going to attach this with some hot glue to the front of our stem. And these are done. Y'all, come on. These are adorable. Okay, I said I haven't done farmhouse in a while, but these are so cute. Oh my gosh. Comment with a cow. I'm just all about emojis today. Comment with a cow if these are your jam because I am loving them right now. Okay, another trio here. Again, 37 degrees. They're all different sizes. I started out with fire starter and I started painting it, and I'm going to be using like those transfers that are over to the left. I like how I'm pointing at my screen like you guys are here with me. And I thought, oh, orange would go, and then I could use orange pumpkins, but nope, I didn't like it. Did not like it after I painted the tops of all of them. I ended up getting cherry picked, mixed it with carnival red, which has like a pink undertone, and I wanted to lighten up the cherry picked, but to be honest, don't do that because I don't really think it made much of a difference at all. I think it lightened it up just like a tad bit, but nothing crazy. So I am going to now paint all of my pumpkins, we'll say just with cherry picked, and then I'm going to let that dry. After hours of deciding how I was going to lay these transfers out, I decided I just needed to stick one on there and just do the thing, okay? So keep in mind, with transfers, I personally do not put a clear coat over my paint before adhering my transfers. But when you use highly pigmented colors like black, red, cherry picked, you want to allow that paint to fully dry before putting your transfers on there. The transfers have a little tack to them, so they will kind of stick to the surface. And then you're going to take your little scraper tool. You're going to push down your transfer as you lift up the backing, and then you're going to burnish it, which means you're just rubbing that backing on there to make sure your transfers are sticking to the surface. For this second one, I just chose to use one transfer. Now, you guys, I think these are the La Mirage transfer booklet. These are sold out on the warehouse website. So I was not able to put these on, but as soon as they come back in stock, I will. The Seeds catalog is available though, and that one has some of the smaller floral images like this as well. So that one will be available for pre-sale. Once I'm done putting all of the transfers on all three pumpkins, then we are going to take, what am I doing next? Oh no, I'm going to show you another one. I did decide to layer these on top of each other. So some are like floral images and then seed packet looking images as well. And I wanted to take up the full real estate of my pumpkins, okay? I'm going to take some Big Top and I'm going to clear all of the pumpkins with that. And I'm going to do the same thing I did with the other pumpkins. To be honest, you guys, I prefer the stems for these wood pumpkins versus using little knobs or finials because I feel like the shorter you go with the stem, the harder it is to accessorize them because then you can no longer see the stem and then it kind of takes away from it being a pumpkin. So once I found all of those, I attached those and I'm going to do another fabric bow. This time using this like really light tan fabric from Dollar Tree. And then this, it's not tulle, it's actually from my wedding bell. And I just keep cutting it up and cutting it up. And then we are going to, again, wrap that around our fingers, cinch it in the middle, tie it off. And I really didn't think these needed anything else but these frilly fabric bows. I didn't think they needed flowers or anything. I wanted the stand out of these pumpkins to be the transfers. And this right here, you guys, is why doing these wood pumpkins is so fun because you can really think outside of the box. A pumpkin ain't just a pumpkin when you're crafting, okay? You can really play around with colors. You can go with like whatever your vibe is at your house, whatever your decor is, whatever theme you're going with for the fall. So I loved these flower ones. I think they are so beautiful and you can't beat that detail. Now this is our last pumpkin duo. I'm going to take Sandy Blonde. I'm going to paint the front, the back, the sides, all of that goodness. And then I'm going to take the stamp Catwalk. If you guys are new to my channel, hi, my name is Sammy. I love cheetah. And we are going to put some black ink on there, press it down. You don't even need the brayer, you guys. That was actually more difficult using with the stamp hanging over the side. And then I lift that up and look at how cute that is. I actually love the cheetah print on this because it actually looks like real fur the way that they made it, you know, like it doesn't look immature. The fur just, it looks so good. And then I'll take my ink pad and I'm just going to put that around the edges of my pumpkin. I think it really makes it pop a little bit more. And then off camera, I did do the little angles on the top as well. So for this one, I did try the finial caps. These I get at Walmart, and I painted them in little black dress. And then I am going to end up gluing them to the top. But I clear everything with Big Top. Make sure you let your ink dry for at least an hour before putting a clear coat on so you don't smear it. Now I'm attaching those finial caps just using some hot glue. And this is the one I really wish I had Spanish moss for. Really did. I even tried, you guys, bows, ribbon, all of that stuff. But like I said, the smaller the stem peduncle is on these, the harder it is to accessorize because you don't want to lose the stem of your pumpkin. So I decided to go with orange raffia bows. And to be honest, I think they look adorable. These could go for Halloween. They could go for fall. And look at the cheetah print. Do you see how it looks like the little fur on there? I love how these turned out. So you guys, I hope these inspired you to play around with some scrap wood. Get some 2x4s and have them cut it down at the hardware store. They're pretty inexpensive right now. And I hope you guys come back on Tuesday. Hey everyone. Oh, hi. If you guys are like, why does she always do that? It's so I know when I'm editing, like, okay, I'm going to start talking kind of thing. That's why. Having fun, creative. But seriously, you guys, if you did not go to For the Love of Junk weekend, look out for it next year. Save those dollars because it was one of the funnest times. Like even for me, it's not like I have girlfriends or family members that like come over and craft with me, you know, like it was really truly an experience to be with a bunch of people that enjoy doing the same things that you do, being able to craft alongside them, like talk about all the things that like you both like love to. It was the coolest dang thing. So make sure to look out at, is it Monday? No, it's definitely Wednesday. Okay, bye guys.